All right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Hackathon for Social Good 2022. Today is our kickoff and opening ceremony. And I'm Stephanie Rideout. I'm joined with Anjali and Zarreen, and we are just so excited to present this hackathon to you all today. So thank you all so much for joining. So we're just going to start off a little bit about Women Who Code. Our code of conduct. Women Who Code is an inclusive community dedicated to providing an empowering experience for everyone who participates in or supports our community. Our events are intended to inspire women to excel in technology careers, and anyone who is here for this purpose is welcome. We do not tolerate harassment of members in any form. And this applies to all Women Who Code events, including this one, and our online communities, such as our Slack channels and social media. And you can read a full version here at our website. At Women Who Code, our mission is to empower diverse women to excel in technology careers. Our vision, a tech industry where diverse women and historically excluded people thrive at every level. All right, so once again, welcome everyone to Hackathon for Social Good 2022. Let's get started with our kickoff and opening ceremony. So let's start off by meeting the team. Hi, I'm Stephanie Rideout, and I'm Leadership Fellow for Women Who Code Python track. And I'm joined by Anjali Menon, who's Leadership Fellow for the Blockchain track, and Zarreen Reza, Leadership Fellow for the Data Science track. And you'll be hearing more from them later on in the session. So we're going to start off with some general details about the hackathon. And then a little bit later, we're going to kind of go more into depth on some topics that will really help a lot of you out, especially if you've never participated in a hackathon before, or you just would like some really good refresher to help you have a really successful hackathon experience. So let's get started with some details first about the hackathon. So our motto for the hackathon is use your tech superpowers to create a solution for the social good. The Hackathon for Social Good 2020 will offer an amazing and engaging learning experience for the Women Who Code community while we develop projects that promote social good. I've popped this website in the chat, but there's some information there right now, and there'll be more as we go. And again, this is hosted by the Women Who Code technical tracks, Python, blockchain, and data science. So the Hackathon for Social Good is an opportunity for you to create and build something that impacts the social good. So we understand this is going to mean something different for everyone. So we want you to use your creativity to design a technical solution to meet a societal challenge of your choice. So we'll get into that a little bit more as we go. But basically, we envision this hackathon as a collaborative community learning experience where we're actively learning together and helping one another. And that means like whether we're actually working on the same project together on the same team, or if we're on completely different teams, we want this to be a really engaging and exciting collaborative community learning experience where we're all helping one another out, we're helping one another find resources, and like we're just working together to make sure everyone is successful. So basically, who can participate? So basically, all Women Who Code members who abide by our code of conduct are invited to participate in this hackathon. And so like all levels of technical and non-technical experience are welcome. So whether you're skilled in front end or project management, maybe you're skilled in marketing, maybe you're more technical and you specialize in some area of machine learning or data science, or maybe like UX UI. So like everyone basically is welcome to participate. All of these different skills will be beneficial to a team setting. So some of our suggested social causes, this might not be all inclusive, but we did our best to try to cover a variety of different categories that your projects could fall under. We'll probably have another category as well, just in case there's something that we might have missed. But let's just kind of go through what some of these are. So for the first one, animals such as like wildlife conservation, that's a big one. Crime rates and safety. disaster relief, education, environment, health and infectious diseases such as COVID and healthcare, hunger and nutrition such as food insecurity and healthy eating, poverty and human services such as housing, homelessness, child foster care, and women empowerment. Again, we invite you to be creative and consider some of these social causes. And if there's something else that you're really excited and passionate about, we would love to see you develop a project around that. All right, so now for the tech stacks. So we went through and brainstormed a bunch of tech stacks that fit very well with our three tracks. And so we have artificial intelligence, automation, blockchain, computer vision, data analytics, data visualization, data science, machine learning, natural language processing, Python, which is very all-encompassing, and web development with kind of more of a Python focus. So in terms of these tech stacks, you'll want to make sure your project falls within one of these categories. It needs to somehow meet one of these categories. Maybe you use Python coding, maybe you're analyzing data, visualizing data, or using blockchain technology as some examples of something that you might want to do. So again, you'll be very creative and consider these stacks and how they can fit into a project that you believe will benefit the social good. So key dates. So this is very important. So right now we're basically in a period of what we're calling get ready. And so this will run from today all the way through Friday, June 24th. And this is the time that you'll want to use to form a team, start working on your challenge statement, just overall to start to get ready for the hackathon. And we're going to get more in depth on what things you should focus on for that in just a moment. And the next key date is the hackathon participation duration. So this is the actual time period where you're going to be working on your projects. And please note, we designed this so you would have 2 weekends to work on this with a week in between. That way, if someone is super busy on something, personally, and your team needs to choose one weekend to work on it, you can find time to work as a team to get together to work on it. So it's about I believe it's about 9 days where you can actively work on your project. So we will provide you the submission form on Saturday, June 25th. And then you'll have until end of day, anywhere on Earth time on Sunday, July 3rd to submit your project. And then there'll be a judging time period. And after that, we're going to have, before the judging time period, we're going to kind of do a little bit of behind the scenes evaluating your projects. And then we're going to do a project demo day where we're going to invite a number of teams to present their projects. And we'll announce the top teams from that point. And that's going to happen on Saturday, July 16th. And then the top teams, once they're selected, will have the opportunity to present your projects on Friday, July 22nd at our Block Data Pi Tech Summit. So that's a tech summit that the three tracks are providing for all of you in the community, and we're very excited about that. So you'll have an opportunity to speak at the summit. All right, so get ready. So let's focus on this for a little bit. So we recommend that basically you use this time starting right now through June 24th to prepare for the hackathon. And so there's a few things to do. So I created this checklist for you. First off, you'll want to join the general Women Who Code Slack community. And we created a hackathon social good Slack channel. So we'll get into that a little bit more in just a moment. The next thing you'll want to do is decide whether you want to participate as an individual. You are allowed to participate as an individual if you would like, or you can join as part of a team. I will say I'm personally biased towards participating as part of a team because I feel like that really just opens up a lot more collaboration, but it's totally up to you and how you would like to create your hackathon experience. So the next thing you'll want to do is if you decide to participate as part of a team, you'll want to find or create your team. And we'll get into that in a little bit more, or quite a bit more, in this session later on. And you'll want to decide on what your team roles and responsibilities are. You know, somebody will want to maybe take the lead, you might have somebody managing the project, you know, different technical responsibilities that will go on. So you'll want to work through those. And then you'll want to choose one of those social causes, either from that list, or if you have something else that we might have missed, you choose that cause that you're passionate about, and then choose which tech stack you will use for your project. Once you have those pieces, you can start writing your project's challenge statement. So what is it exactly that you're planning to try to build? What are you trying to accomplish from this experience? And so it doesn't need to be really super extensive in terms of your challenge statement. It could be a sentence, it could be 3 sentences, you know, whatever it takes to get across what you're trying to create and build. And then you'll want to prepare all the resources and tools that you need to complete your project. So, you know, you might need to download some things, you know, you might need to gather some videos to learn how to execute something. So whatever you feel like you need to do, you can start gathering all those pieces together so you're totally ready to go for the 25th. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about communication. I can't really check the chat, but I'm going to assume that either Anjali or Zarreen has shared the Slack community invite link in the chat. And so we're primarily going to use Slack for communication, and we're going to use the general Women Who Code Slack community for this, which is the www.code.slack.com. And the reason for this is we want to make sure everyone is working together, and you know, we're bringing all the communities together and that sort of thing. So if you're part of any of our technical, if you're part of the technical track Slack communities and your members over there, those are separate communities. So you want to make sure that you also join this one. That way you can communicate and interact with us. And so once you've done that, we have a hackathon-social-good Slack channel. So this is specifically where we're going to be having a lot of these interactions. And so how do we plan to kind of use this channel? We're going to use this channel to be able to help you find and create your teams. We'll actually share at the end of this session that we're going to have an event on that Slack channel on Friday where everyone can join that Slack channel and you can interact and start to find people who you would like to be part of your team. You'll be able to stay up to date with current hackathon news and resources, different things that we're able to provide you. You can ask any questions you have about the hackathon. You can communicate with the 3 of us hackathon organizers. So you can communicate with myself, Anjali, Zarreen, any questions or thoughts. If you need to run something past us, if you're like, does this fit the hackathon submission guidelines, you know, we can talk through all that with you. You'll be able to also learn about any upcoming hackathon related events that we're having. So there's some stuff that's been scheduled. There's a lot of things up in the air. So you'll want to definitely just stay up to date on that. So please make sure your notifications are turned on the Slack community as well. That way you're able to catch any of these updates, events that you might need in order to complete your project. And also we'll be posting the link for the submission form there on June 25th. All right, so team formation. So you can, as I mentioned before, you can decide whether you would like to participate in the hackathon as an individual or within a team. It's totally up to you. We will share more about this quite a bit later in the session. And the maximum team size that we established for this is 5 people, which includes the team lead. So each team should choose one person who will serve as the team lead, and the team lead will be responsible for submitting your final project and then also communicating with the hackathon organizing team if you're selected as one of the presenting teams. So very important that we have that contact. And as I mentioned before, you'll be able to use the Slack channel to share about yourself and what interests you in terms of like what you would like to, what type of project would you like to create for the hackathon? What would you like to build? What are your skills? What skills you bring into the table and so forth. So we'll get into that a bit more later. All right, so project submission guidelines. So basically in bold, your task is to create a brand new project featuring a social cause and using at least one of the provided tech stacks. Some of you might end up using more to accomplish what you need to accomplish, but the goal is to use at least one of them. So with your final submission, you're going to provide that written challenge statement that you worked on during this get ready period. You'll provide your code set. So what code is involved with making your project function, and that will need to be published to somewhere like GitHub or Google Colab or repo. And when the submission form is provided, there'll be a little bit more detail just to help you. And also, we're going to ask with your final submission that you either, and this depends on what kind of time you have, what your technical capabilities are in terms of, everybody's computer systems are different. And so you can either provide a brief video demo of your project and how it works and walk us through that, or you can just create like a Google Slides or Canva type visual presentation. And then you'll be able to share the link to that and where it's hosted. And when we provide the submission form, we will be a little bit more detailed on like what exactly you should include there. But basically, you'll walk through like who the team is, what is your challenge statement, what did you try to solve, how did you try to solve it, and just a brief demo of how everything works. And then you'll also be sharing a team name. I hope everyone gets really creative with team names. It's always one of my favorite part of hackathons is getting to come up with something creative in terms of your team name. And you'll choose your team lead and provide your member information as well. All right. And as I mentioned before, the submission form will be available on Saturday, the 25th, and the deadline is Sunday, July 3rd at 11:59 anywhere on Earth. So that's something, I believe it'll actually be like July 4th at about 6 a.m. Eastern or something like that. So we can use the World Clock Buddy and help give everybody the time transitions that they need. So conversions that they need. So all right, let's get into some judging criteria. So we're going to evaluate your hackathon projects on the following criteria. So social impact, creativity and innovation, technical execution, completeness, and presentation. All right. So let's get into what some of these are. So social impact, it's the level of impact the project will have on society. So again, you'll want to, explore a lot of creativity here. So creativity, innovation, uniqueness of the idea, and your team's approach to solving that specific challenge. Technical execution, use of the chosen tech stack to solve that challenge. Completeness, is the code complete? Is there a working demo? Is it functioning? That sort of thing. And if for some reason at the end of the hackathon, everything isn't quite functioning as it should, don't worry about it. We still want to see your project at the end of the day. So when you get to a presentation, as I mentioned, if you decide, whether you decide to do a video demo or a visual presentation, you can share what you learned from the experience. So if the project didn't quite work out, you can share in your presentation portion what exactly went wrong and what you learned from that experience and what you would do if you had more time to resolve it. So I hope everyone's able to create a functioning project at the end of it. But if you don't worry about it. We still want to see your projects. Please still submit them, because again, this is a collaborative learning experience. So we just want to know like where you got stuck, and we can help you beyond that. So your presentation will include, like I mentioned, your written challenge statement with either that video demo or a visual presentation. All right, and so prizes and incentives. So for participating in the hackathon, Project Demo Day presenters will receive a Women Who Code swag t-shirts and tickets to the next Women Who Code Connect conference. Winning teams and individuals will receive the opportunity to present your projects at the Women Who Code Block Data Pi Summit on July 22nd. And all participants who submit a project that meets the submission guidelines that we went over will receive a digital certificate. So you need to successfully complete a submission that follows what we had walked through here: brand new project, social cause, one of the provided tech stacks, and all of these pieces that are provided here. And if it meets that, then you will receive a certificate. So once again, we definitely, we want to make this an engaging learning experience for everyone. And that's what this is all about. So we're here to help you and be here for you. So wonderful. So please, we have to hop to the next part, which is Anjali's session. So let's, if anyone has any questions about details regarding the hackathon, please let us know in the Zoom Q&A right now. I'm going to be responding to those questions. And if there's anything that everyone kind of needs to be made aware of, I will at the end hop in and share that with everyone. So without further ado, I will pass the session over to Anjali.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, and thank you for explaining in detail about the processes. Let me quickly share my screen. I hope all of you can see my screen, right? Okay, great. So let me get started. So hi, everyone. This workshop would be mainly for all of you, especially the beginners in the hackathon. So today I'll be discussing about the design thinking approach. It is actually a problem solving approach. So quickly in the chat, if you have ever used design thinking, or if you know about what a design thinking is, could you just write a yes or no so that I can gauge the audience accordingly? Okay, all right. So let me just get started. Okay, I have like few no, never heard of it, maybe. Okay, that's good to know. So I will just explain to you about this problem solving approach. And this approach is basically used by a lot of big organizations like Google, Apple, and it's not just limited to technology. Other industries like the art industry or the music industry, other industries, this problem solving approach can be used in other places as well. And it will definitely be helpful for you for the hackathon if you're using this approach, because it has a structure. So I will just go through the key important points in each of these phases, be it, and one thing to remind you all, there are 5 steps, but it does not need to be in a linear way. It can even be an iterative way. So if you have a problem, usually what you do is you have some assumptions. Maybe, people might be facing this issue, but having this empathize approach lets you kill your, maybe like put aside your assumptions and think from the user perspective, understand the user perspective. For example, if you're interested to build a women's safety mobile application and you don't know where to start from, the best way to start from is to contact your end users, try to understand what are the features and what is the problems that they are facing. One thing to go ahead with is the empathize. That is the first phase. So in the empathize, you will get to know what your users actually want and what are the end users feeling about. And even the women safety mobile application, is it something that will be useful for your for the end users? That's what you need to like think about and have a conversation with the end users and get to know from them that what are the features that they are looking forward to. So in the empathize phase, it is just empathizing with the end users to understand what do they need, and is there a problem that they are facing, and how can you solve that problem using the technology. That is basically the first phase. The next phase that I'm going to talk about is define. Just to remind you here, from empathize, you can even go to the ideate or the prototype phase. It does not need to be linear, but I'll just explain it very quickly to you. So the define is you are defining the problem statement. So once you're sure, okay, this is the thing that I want to work on. I have researched, I have checked with a lot of people, and probably this is a major issue. And especially in our hackathon for social good, you would want to solve some real use cases, right? And in that case, you can actually empathize first and then go to the define stage where you're actually defining what exactly are you planning to solve by creating this web application or mobile application. In our example, we'll be just taking the women safety mobile application. The next stage that we are going to discuss is ideate. Now that you know and you have a defined process, okay, you're going to probably go ahead and have a mobile application in place for women's safety. The next step is to ideate what is the approach that you're going to follow. Is that mobile application going to be an Android, iOS, and all that sort of things you need to like really discuss. And the other important thing you need to discuss is, do you have the skill set in your team? Is somebody in your team a mobile developer? That those skill sets will be like really useful to you in your journey of completing the hackathon. So once you have ideated, you know which is the correct approach to follow, then the next step comes is the prototype. Now this step is very important. This is where you will be actually building something. Prior to these steps, you have ideas, you have discussed with people, you know the feasibility of it. But having a prototype really is very helpful. So once you build your prototype, the next thing is to ensure that it's working correctly. Now for this testing, right, you can do anything. You can do unit testing. You can even have like automated scripts with some test cases also to test. But apart from that, one of the important things that you can do is probably just go back to the empathize phase, go to the first user that you had spoken to about and check with her, provide the beta version of the mobile application, and you can see if it's really useful for her. Is there any issue with the UI? Is it like usable information? And you can get the feedback. And from the empathize phase, probably you can again go to ideate and think about, brainstorm about what are the other features that you can include. And then again, this is, like I said, it's a non-linear iterative approach. You can just play around with it until you have the final outcome with you and something that you can like share it across. Now, this is one of the problem solving approaches which you can definitely use in your hackathons. And I'm discussing this approach because it is used for finding a lot of innovative ideas. And like you said, like Stephanie mentioned, that one of the judging criteria is to come up with some innovative solutions. So this approach will be able to like provide you with some details. Now, I'll be talking more about it in the coming slides, but then let me address the next important issue at hand, that is choosing a topic. Now, in hackathon, we have seen that a lot of times people are stuck in choosing a topic. So when you're having a team of 5 to 6 people, everybody is innovative, everybody has different ideas in their mind. And once they, and then you also yourself get confused, okay, what exactly shall I like go ahead with? And you waste a lot of time in that process. So like Stephanie mentioned, even though for the submission you have 9 days, it should not be that, even after the project submission deadline starts, you're still thinking about what is the idea that you're going to choose. So here we are going to explain 3 simple steps that you should take in mind. The first one is brainstorm. So you can use any real-time collaboration tools. It could be a Miro board or Google Jamboard. And as a team, you can have that collaboration. Whatever ideas each of the team members has, everybody like can put a sticker on it so that everybody else can also see, okay, what are the different ideas? Maybe 5 of you can come up with like 20, 25 ideas. So once all the ideas are in there, the next step that you need to follow is to evaluate. You need to make sure that you're sorting the similar topics together. And then based on that, you are prioritizing the topics based on, of course, the two important things for a hackathon, which is the impact of the social cause and also skill set to build this project. So we are giving this opportunity for all of you to actually build something, and it will be very good for your resume as well. I see that a lot of you are new to hackathons. It will also be a great way for you to collaborate with each other. So in this evaluate step, basically two things that you need to check and prioritize is that what is the impact of the social cause, and also is this do you have the sufficient skill set? So like we said in our previous example of developing a mobile application for women's safety, if there is no mobile developer in the team, it might be a bit difficult to complete the project, right? So then you have to like probably move to a different tangent. So based on all of those things, you can finally decide and shortlist and vote what exactly is the topic that you want to work on. And this entire process may probably take just 2 hours of your time, and you'll be able to completely sort it out very quickly and start working on the prototype, which will be like very beneficial for you on submitting the hackathon project idea on time. Okay, so the next one is we have a set of topic and ideas that you can actually use, and feel free to use anything else. This is just to give you an idea of different topics that you can think of, combining both the technology and also the social impact. So I'll just read through all of these so that you have an idea of what needs to be done. Also, the slides will be shared with you later on. Okay, so you can develop a mobile application to visualize and analyze marine wildlife health data, build a Django website that empowers women in technology careers, use computer vision for emotion detection in public community spaces with high crime rates, apply a machine learning model to predict the spread of an infectious disease, create a blockchain application in healthcare to publish medical records safely, forecast flooding to provide alerts to people in flood-affected areas, design a graphical user interface to display food insecurity data in your city and develop potential food distribution areas, transform disaster relief using blockchain technology. Now, these are like some wonderful, wonderful examples. You can choose the one that best fits you, or it's not even necessary to follow any of these ideas. You can be as innovative as possible and work towards making a social impact using your technology skills. So that's basically the idea of this hackathon. Okay, moving forward, I will now explain to you an idea execution of one of the projects that I've done through the design thinking approach. So like I said, the first approach is the empathize one that I selected, and you can select anyone, anywhere to start from. So I selected the empathize one, and I actually read the news on 2 of the only white giraffes on Earth were slaughtered by poachers. So this incident happened in 2020, and after reading that, it was. I mean, I really felt very bad that, you know, what can we as tech enthusiasts do to ensure that the endangered species are conserved. So that's when the idea actually hit me, and this empathize process really helped to get an idea to work on a hackathon. So the next step that I worked on was then ideate. Okay, if I need to do something for social good using the technical skills, what are the different things that we can do? So we can actually use social media to spread awareness. But then the question was, which social media should we prefer? And one of the researchers actually showed that Twitter has 229 million daily active users. So then I thought, okay, we can promote about the endangered species in social media. So maybe let's use Twitter. And after researching, we actually found out that alpacas were the least talked animals based on a Reddit survey. And on further research, we found out that there are no wild alpacas left, and about 98% of their population is wiped out. So now, after so much of brainstorming, we were able to come up with two things. That is, one is, okay, we'll be using Twitter for the social media to promote about the endangered species. And we got to know, and we finalized on which is the endangered species that we are going to use, and we chose alpaca. Now, after the ideate state, the next step that we went for was defining the problem statement. So we defined, okay, probably we will build bots to raise awareness on endangered animals on social media. And we had to develop a prototype for that. So in Twitter, there is this Tweepy API, which you can integrate with your Python code and create a sample bot. And that's what we did. So this bot just checked for if anybody had mentioned the word alpaca in any of the tweets. And once you figure out if somebody has written, you can actually comment on it and put some random fact about alpaca. Maybe mention the fact that they are endangered, and so that people are aware of it. Because the other news that I read about the poachers killing like the two white giraffes, maybe they were not aware that they are the endangered species, and maybe that's the reason the poaching happened. Anyway, I don't support poaching in any way, but yeah. So having awareness is very much important, and that is what our bot basically did. So after creating the prototype, we tested it. So during the testing, we discovered that our bot was purged within 2 hours, as a Twitter routinely purges the bots and the fake accounts. So after the testing, we realized, okay, maybe Twitter is not the right platform to build your bots. And that's when we had to again go back to the ideate phase to think about which is the social media platform to use for creating awareness. And that's when we thought, okay, let's go ahead with Reddit. And Reddit is a social media which has an average of 50 million daily active users. And we were like, okay, we can build something on and integrate it with Reddit API instead. So Reddit has an API called Pro API, with which we integrated, and the test result was it worked. No, so our bot was still there, and I would definitely want to show you the next slide. So this is basically a few screenshots of our bot. So this is what the alpaca bot does. So hello there, I'm a bot raising awareness of alpacas, and it shares some random facts about it. And if you see the different comments that were raised in here. So one of the comment was, can alpaca bot marry me? Like, people were in love with the alpaca bot, and somebody even wrote, this is my new favorite bot. I would like another alpaca fact, please, and thank you. So it was a fun project to actually spread awareness, at the same time also using your tech skills to use for a social good. So this was just a basic example, but just to show you that it's possible to create projects and involve your technical skills for social good. It can be a very small contribution as well, and it can be a big impact as well. It all depends on your creativity, and definitely I hope that you're able to complete your project in time, and yeah, wish you all a very best. All right, I think I am done with my slides. Zarreen, would you like to go next? Sorry, I did not look at the chat. Are there any questions for me?
No questions. Amazing job, Anjali. Thank you so much for sharing your amazing knowledge.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you so much, Anjali, for sharing that your experience from your personal hackathon journey. It has been, I'm sure it has been super insightful for the participants. Let me just now talk about some more questions. I think Anjali has already mentioned how you can come up with you can start with the design thinking process, you do ideation, then finally you build a prototype and test and be successful and have fun. Now, you might ask yourself like, okay, this was all this together. It was a long process. It needed effort. It needed like dedication. It needed accountability from on your part, right? So how do we make sure that how do we actually set ourselves for success? Another one of the like burning questions for hackathons are basically, can I participate as an individual, or do I need a team? Or, you know, depending on our personalities, different participants, we have different personalities. Some people, they really feel comfortable working alone or working in their own comfort zone, which is totally great. Some people really shine in a team environment. They thrive in a team environment, sharing ideas with others, learning from each other, teaching each other. These are some people's forte, right? And none of the groups are like wrong, or none of the groups are not missing out anything, because I personally participated in a lot of hackathons. I've been a mentor and judge myself as well. So from my personal experience, and I participated both as an individual and also as a team. So from my experience and what I learned from all those journeys, I would like to share some insights with you, like, and then it's up to you which path you want to take. And so let's get started. So first of all, if you are like an individual genius, you definitely can participate as an individual and win. It's definitely possible. And what are some advantages of participating as an individual, right? So you can work at your own pace. You can make decisions very fast. Now we know like hackathon is a time-bound contest. So time is definitely of essence here. So you will be able to make decisions very quick without having to wait for other team members. You will have less distractions because there will be no continuous check-in or discussion, brainstorming. You will have on all of the things on your mind, and you will be less distracted. As a result of that, you will be able to concentrate much easier, and you will be able to work much faster. And also, I think the best part is you will be the sole responsible person for that entire project, right? So if you win, if you achieve something great, it will be just you will be the only one to receive all the claims because you worked really hard for that. On the other hand, if something didn't go as expected, then you know, like, okay, you can easily identify the limitations, like where things didn't go well, and you can actually work on those and be better at themselves, instead of, you know, anticipating or thinking like maybe if that team member would have contributed more, maybe we could have won, all these things, right? No room for speculations. But on the other hand, there are some downsides to that as well, which we need to be mindful of. So there is definitely no ways to brainstorm and share ideas. So all the ideas, you will be working only from your own ideas, your own experiences, your own perspectives. So the uniqueness, or if you want to aim for something out of the box, then maybe you are restraining yourself a little bit on your thought process because it's just you and yourself. Also, in cases of your unavailability, if you fall sick or if you have other commitments to entertain as well, then there won't be anyone to cover for you. So you won't be able to delegate your work to someone else when you are away, when you are not working, or you need to take rest, you need to sleep and eat. But that time someone else can be able to take some of the responsibilities, but now you're individual, so that won't be possible. And also limited workforce, right? So maybe as a team, you could aim for a lot more ambitious projects, but as an individual, because now you have to take all the parts. So Anjali was explaining like how there are different steps, and different steps requires different sets of expertise or skills. Now you will be the only one who will be taking care of everything, be it front end, back end, data collection, model development, everything has to be done by you. So you have to maybe tame your ideas or your product based on that limited capacity. On the other hand, if you participate in a team, then definitely the plus points are more people, more brain. That means increased creativity and productivity. So you will be able to aim for long, short, ambitious projects because now you have more hands to help with. Unique combination of skills, backgrounds, and perspective. Different people come from different backgrounds. They have their different experiences, perspective. All this together blended, as a team, you can come up with a really unique solution, right? And also, you can develop your collaboration and leadership skills. So this is also something really, it's a soft skill, but it's really transferable to in any of your career. So if you want to move on to the career in your resume, you can actually write like, I have led this team to win a hackathon, right? So that would be really great. And it will be a testament to your leadership skill or your teamwork spirit, that as a team, you achieved something. As a downside, obviously, there can be possibilities of conflicts because now you need to do discussions. You need to come to a consensus from all the team members. And when there's a team, it may not be always, easier. So these things definitely to keep in mind. However, none of these should stop you to not explore an option. So I would say, like previously, if you have participated as an individual, maybe this time you can give it a shot participating in a team, and vice versa, in case you want to explore, like, right, you want to just see how it goes, how far you can go just by on yourself. So these are a few questions I ask myself before participating in a hackathon, while deciding, should I just go solo or I should look for a team or invite my friends to participate as a team, right? So first question is, am I self-motivated for this hackathon? Am I motivated enough that I can just pull this off on my own? Or do I need any kind of accountability, any kind of, do I need to hold myself accountable to someone else? And that someone is my team members. When we have a lot of people working together, then I cannot just back off at the last moment. So I will have to think twice, and this can actually help me keep motivated. But if you're already self-motivated, you have the energy of the enthusiasm, definitely, why not? You can fly on your own. Do I have a breadth of expertise, or do I excel at a specific role? So if you have like a breadth of expertise on different aspects of the project that you want to build, you are good to go as an individual. On the other hand, if you really have some excellent skills at a specific role, then maybe you are a very good fit in a team, because you will be able to contribute so much more in that your area of expertise. And if all the other team members also are doing the same, then as a team, you will be a killer combination. Also, can I take concrete decisions and stick to it? Now, as an individual, when I participate, one of the hardest problems that comes my way is I get overwhelmed with ideas. So I find it hard to take one decision and stick to it. So maybe I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should go with this idea. Oh, wait, but what if I try that? So this ideation and brainstorming, I just feel overwhelmed and I just lose time, because it's a time-bound event, right? So I just sometimes get lost, and I need to pull myself here, like, okay, whatever it is, I need to actually start executing, right? And on the other hand, as a team, when you're in a team, so when you're doing collaborative decisions, someone else can give your input. Maybe you have a brilliant idea, you think you have a brilliant idea, but someone just points out some disadvantages or some challenges, and you can decide like, okay, maybe I should not go with that, I should go with the other person's idea. So these kind of information, they're little things, but they can really make or break your hackathon journey. Next is, do I prefer self-exploration or do I prefer learning from others? So both of them are absolutely fine, and you will have great experience doing both. When I'm alone, I try to use that opportunity to learn something new. So when I'm doing a hackathon, I know like, okay, I'm not really good at front end, but this is my chance to give it a shot, because now I don't have a hand who can help with front end. So maybe I will quickly finish the things I'm good at, and then I will just spend some time exploring whatever I can come up with. That's fine, but I will learn something new, right? On the other hand, if you feel like, okay, I really want to learn something, I really want to learn this particular part, like how to use machine learning. I don't know about that, but maybe if I be a part of a team who are working on a machine learning problem, maybe I will be able to learn from them. So this is like another question you can ask yourself. And finally, the most important question is, do I thrive working on my own, or do I thrive working in team environment? As I said, this just depends on different people's mindset, personality, all different things, psychological things. So, and no group is in the wrong, obviously. So you can be either as an individual participant, or you can be a team participant, and you can do great things. Next, but how do you find or form a team? So as example, let's say for the sake of argument that you chose to be with a team. While you're forming or finding for team members, there are a few things you can keep in mind to make this journey easier. So think of it like each team member is actually a piece of the bigger puzzle, and that puzzle is the entire product, entire deliverable that you are trying to build, right? So one piece of the puzzle could be like a front end, another puzzle could be like the back end software development side, another one could be data finding for the data sets. I saw a question about data sets in the chat. So one person can take charge of finding the right data set, another person can work on the graphics. Maybe some person is really good at graphics or creating presentations or storylines, videos. They can take charge of that. So all together, all those pieces, when you put together, you will come up with the entire puzzle, and it will look great. Also, all of the team members should actually share a common interest or goal. So that means when you're ideating, at least not from the skills point of view necessarily, but from the idea point of view, the team members should align like, okay, this is something we are aiming for, this is our goal, and we are really driven by that goal. So this common goal is important for success. Next is identify the stacks you need or you can help with. So if you are forming a team, you're the first member of the team, you have this great idea, but you know, like you can help with these parts, but for the other parts, you need help. So you can post. So in our Slack channel, the Hackathon Social Good channel, you can actually write that, hey, I have this idea. I'm good at this, but I'm looking for people to help with these aspects. And then people can reach out to you. And on the other hand, if you see someone asking for help, like, hey, I'm looking for a front-end expert or machine learning expert, how I can help. If any of you are looking for help, then definitely you can just reach out to that person saying, hey, we are looking for help, can you help? So this kind of communication is also really helpful, and it will help you to find the right team member for your team. Also commitment from team members. So definitely hackathon is just a side experience that you're exploring, and all of us have other commitments, work, studies, all those things, but we need to be mindful of, like, when we are committing to something, we at least try to respect that as much as possible. There will always be some things that might happen. Some people may not be able to contribute that much during the end because of different other commitments, but we should try to be as respectful as possible to not just our own commitment, but also respect other people's time and effort. And geographical proximity, this is a good thing to have, but now we know, like, this is a global world, and post-pandemic, everything is remote, everything is global. There is literally no geographical boundaries anymore. But sometimes having the geographical proximity between your team members really help, in a sense that because you have overlapping time zones, overlapping working hours. So if you are in opposite time zones, then maybe when you're sleeping, someone else is working, but you have this very small window to communicate with each other. So this type of things, but it's still not, I said this is optional because it's not really like a mandatory to have. Definitely, if you plan it better, then you can make it work. And finally, if you haven't yet, please join the Hackathon for Social Good channel in Women Who Code general Slack. And finally, things to be mindful of, just few tips from my own experience again. Time management is really important. I said few times already, hackathon is a time-bound contest and time is of essence. You may have the most innovative idea, the brilliant people in your team, but if you cannot manage time accordingly, if the team members are not coming together, planning well, then the final deliverable may fall apart, right? It may not be what you are expecting. So definitely just don't dwell on finding the right idea or the most innovative, unique idea. Maybe you can start something small and as you go, just flesh it out, but just don't wait till you find the right idea and then start working, because you will lost a lot of time doing that. Also feasibility study, right? So you may, again, the idea might be very cool, very big, very impactful, but you have to keep in mind like the duration of the hackathon. Is your project feasible to complete within this duration? And the team members you have, the help you will have, will you be able to pull this off within this timeline? This is important. So ask this question definitely. And based on that, actually, you can tweak your idea a little bit. Maybe you remove some of the additional features, focus on the main features, and just start working on that. Also planning for facilitating for parallel work. This is mostly for teams, people who are participating in a team, right? So if you plan well, you can actually plan it in a way so that one person is not blocked by other person's work. So while you're working on something, make sure that other people can actually in parallel start working on something. So some things may be sequential, they will be sequential, but there definitely will be some parallel tasks that you can delegate to all the team members, and this will save a lot of your time and you can explore a lot more. Also, finally, is adopt the 80-20 rule. So I think I think many of you already know about this Pareto principle, which is called the 80-20 rule. So in general, it says like 80% of the outcome comes from 20% of the efforts. In hackathon, I like to think it in a way like 80% time of your hackathon, time that's spent on your hackathon should be spent on the actual work, and 20% should be spent on talking to people, networking, meeting, and doing the other things like enjoying or experiencing the hackathon, right? So 80% should be about the execution and result-driven activities, and 20% should be left for other entertainment. There are some resources. So again, we will share these slides with you, and also we will share these resources with you. These are, we have some really good series and events from our Women Who Code channels from different tracks on machine learning. We specifically have some series on machine learning for social good from our past hackathon. We also have more machine learning talks. We also have data science, data analysis, image processing, all these talks. They are written in Python. So if you are really well versed in Python or you want to learn Python, definitely check them out. We also have basics of blockchain written in Python. So that's like a very good combination. And again, a lot of other things. How can you start making your Ethereum dApp development? So this is also related to blockchain if you want to work on that. And build your own dataset workshop. So we a few days back, we did a workshop where we showed how you can scrape data from the web using public APIs and make your own dataset for your machine learning model. So definitely this is something you should check out. Then we have our Python study group, data analysis with Python and Pandas, so all those things. And we will also have the resources for Python and data science GitHub repository. We have a lot of codes there regarding our past events, so definitely check them out. And here we have the playlist for the Women Who Code videos, different playlists, different tracks. So and whatever helps you, just check them out. If anything interests you, feel free to explore. That was all from me about the experience. And if you have any questions regarding this specific topic, I would be very happy to answer them. Thank you.
Fantastic. Wonderful job to Anjali and Zarreen on your sessions. Very informative. And I hope that helped everyone very much to start to prepare for the hackathon. So as I mentioned, from June 14th through the 24th, this is our get ready time period. So we will be having a hackathon team formation interactive Slack event. There is not a Zoom link for that because it will happen on Slack. So please make sure that you have joined the community, the Slack community, and also the Hackathon Social Good channel. And the event will happen right there in Slack. You'll be able to post basically a little bit about yourself, what you're looking for in terms of joining a team or finding more team members. And so all of that information will be laid out at the time of the event. So that's scheduled for Friday, June 17th at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then we also have coming up a tentative mentorship session with one of our amazing partners, Shutterstock. And at the moment, we're still working to confirm the day, but we should have more information about that soon. So for our project demo day, there was a question about that in the Q&A. And so that event, basically, that will be an opportunity for the teams that are selected to share their projects like over Zoom. So like it will be a big gathering where each team will take turns going through and sharing your project demos. Most of them will only take a few minutes. They might take 3 or 5 minutes and you know, be fairly quick. That's definitely a great experience, great visibility for you as well. And so that event will take place on Saturday, July 16th at 11 a.m. Eastern. And once again, make sure your notifications are turned on the Slack channel so you learn when that event is going to, so you'll learn when that event is available, and that one will take place over Zoom. And then Zarreen, if you could share the Block Data Pi Summit registration link again. So our top team presentations will take place at the summit. And so that will take place on July 22nd. And as I mentioned before, there's a possibility of there being additional events for the hackathon based on what we feel the community needs or, you know, other reasons. And so if we are able to facilitate additional events for this, you'll be notified in the Hackathon Social Good Slack channel as well. So we just want to say, you know, a big thank you, everyone, so much for joining us. We're so excited to see all the amazing enthusiasm that everyone has for the hackathon. And we do hope that this is really an engaging and exciting learning experience for everyone. Let's get together, collaborate, work together, help others. And I think this is going to be a really awesome experience for everyone. You can join our community. We have a beacons for each of the 3 tracks, Python, blockchain, and data science. And from there, you can become a member. You can, you can become a member of Women Who Code. You can register for our upcoming events, join our Slack channel and our social media, and much more. So please feel free to check out those resources and join our all of our tracks. Join all of us. All right, so we're gonna just double check Q&A real quick. So someone's asking, how many hours do participants typically need to set aside for a hackathon for this length? So Anjali or Zarreen, would one of you like to take that question?
I can.
Zarreen.
Yeah, Anjali, okay. Do you like to go?
Oh, you can go ahead, Zarreen. I can add if I have any one.
Okay, sure. So again, it depends on your availability, first of all. But usually if you can spend, and also depending on how many team members you have, what type of projects you're aiming for, what are the different aspects you need to work on. So usually if you can spend 10 to 15 hours for a certain hackathon, I think that would be good enough. And it also depends on, like, again, are you an individual participant or a team participating as a team? As an individual, you might be needing to spend a bit more time, but on a team, you have more flexibility. Would you like to add anything, Anjali?
Yeah, I think Zarreen, you covered pretty much. And of course, the length of the hours that you need to spend will definitely vary based on the project that you choose. So the Alpaca bot project that I was talking about, the code is like less than 50 lines. And it didn't take much time, it was, I think probably it took us some time to test and make sure it's in the web server running. But it all depends. It all depends on the project that you're choosing. And yeah, all the best.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much for your response to that question. And so someone's asking, will there be other team formation times for people who are in other time zones? And yes, there is quite a bit of discussion about what time to have this event. And so we decided to have it at 10 a.m. So it's still kind of like, it's kind of early in the day Eastern time, but it's also, kind of a good time for everyone around the world. But because it's going to be on Slack, how I envision this is everyone will be able to post their responses at the time of the event, but also it kind of just opens up, basically opens up and facilitates ongoing discussion. So if you're able to check it, 8 hours later, 12 hours later, go ahead and just check it and see what's going on. There will likely still be people looking for teams and team members. So you can come back to the event, you can come check it later and see if there's anything else that works for you. It is possible that we might have one more team formation event the week after that, but it hasn't been decided or determined yet. And if we did do that one, it would probably be about 7 p.m. Eastern. So I hope that works for you, but the reason we decided to do it on Slack is so everyone has visibility into the team formation process, where if you had it on Zoom, it kind of, you basically are limited to joining in that hour. And if you can't make it, then, there's not much opportunity to connect with people. But on Slack, because it's going to be there, it's going to be posted there, you can come hours later and be able to respond to other people, and hopefully you'll be able to find your team. Does that answer your question, Lisa? All right, awesome. Are there any other questions? Thank you so much, Lisa. Awesome. Are there any other questions? I think we have a couple more minutes if anyone does.
I have one more question.
Yeah, would you like to take that one, Zarreen?
Sure. Is there any specific geographical area would we be focusing to build in machine learning? I would say no. Any geographical area shouldn't be stopping you to explore. But it also depends. I think if you can align your personal experience with this problem you are trying to solve, then it will be more impactful. That's for sure. I mean, if you can identify a problem that's happening in your geographical area or in your own proximity or your own locality, right? I think definitely you can give it a shot. You can think around that, think through that, and definitely you will have that empathy for your locality or for the geography. So it may help you to come up with a great solution.
Thank you so much. We have another question. Elizabeth says, I'm only familiar with JavaScript and MERN stack. Is this hackathon for me? And so the answer is yes. So as we talked about, there's a variety of different skills that can be used throughout this hackathon. And so somebody might be looking to do something that involves front end, whether it's blockchain related or, maybe they want to display data and they need a website to do that. And so your skill is definitely useful for a variety of different projects. I don't know if Anjali or Zarreen, if you wanted to mention anything else.
I think you covered it really well, Stephanie.
And also, I've seen some questions throughout the event about the team formation event. So all you need to do is join the Slack channel, and then you will join the hackathon-social-good channel specifically. And the event will be visible that morning. So there's no link, there's no Zoom link, there's nothing else that you need to look at for right now. Like once you join at that day and time, I will be posting something that lays out how exactly the event will be conducted, and you will see the post at that time. So someone's asking if the project should focus only on blockchain. Nope, it can be any of these stacks that we have listed here. So it can fall into any of these categories. It can fall into more than one if you would like it to, but it needs to fall into one of these tech stacks in some way. Are there any other questions? We do have a couple more minutes if anyone has questions. All right, it looks like we're doing pretty well. So as we mentioned, please join us on the Slack community, and also you can join our all three of our technical tracks as well. And so I just wanted to give everyone a big thank you so much for joining us today and learning about the hackathon. And we are so excited, Anjali, Zarreen, and I, we are so excited to be presenting this to you all today. And we think this is going to be a really spectacular event and experience for all of you. And, we're here every step of the way. So, reach out if you have questions. The community is here for you. And this is, again, designed to be a very collaborative experience for all of us. And, I hope that you make some, great friendships and connections from this experience, and that you learn a lot technically as well. And yeah, Anjali or Zarreen, was there anything else you wanted to add real quick before we close out?
Yep. So thank you, Stephanie, and thank you, Zarreen, for summarizing very beautifully the entire hackathon session that we are going to do. So to everybody who is participating, make sure that you're just having fun and you're building something and you're improving your technical skills as well as part of it. So no need to take a lot of tension and think about it. Just think of it as a fun project to work on, and also just have fun and understand. You will also get a chance to collaborate with a lot of other people from different parts of the world. So utilize this networking opportunity as well. Zarreen, do you have anything else to add?
Just wanted to thank everyone for joining today, and I just want to wish all of you all the very best. And this is a learning opportunity. This will be really, really fun experience. Don't take too much stress, or don't think about how I will manage time, or if it will be too much for me. Just try to participate as much as you can, and just try to have as much as fun you can possibly have. So, and we will be there. We are here in our Slack, and we also be available in our technical tracks as well. You can find your people there as well. So if you want to explore a certain idea, maybe you can try joining the individual tracks and search for people there. And we always have a list of excellent resources to help you out. So whether you participate as an individual or as a team, we have your back.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So as I mentioned, everyone, please participate as much as possible on the Slack. Let us know how we can help you. And thank you all just so much for joining us today. And we wish you all the best in the hackathon. But again, we are here every step of the way. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you all on Friday at the team formation event, if you're available to attend. And please let us know if there's anything else we can do to assist you through this process. So thank you everyone so much for joining, and have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're located in the world. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.